So, welcome. My name is Kim Ware, and I've been teaching at Bryan, I think, for like 2.5 years now, but I've been in collegiate education for over a decade, and I just love it. Small group communication and interpersonal communication is kind of in my wheelhouse. I also really enjoy public speaking. So, shameless plug, I am going to offer a crash course in public speaking later in this course. Not to worry, not for hi Gina, not for podium speaking, but so that you can organize your thoughts and talk to anyone, anywhere. So make sure you get that on your calendar, make plans to attend. So I thought for fun, Gina, we've all kind of introduced ourselves and said what kind of part of the country. May I put you on the spot and say, where are you right now?
I am in Chicago, Illinois.
All right. The Windy City.
Yes.
Is it crazy there like it is in other major cities?
Yes.
I have family up there.
I'm way far on the north side, so I don't see a lot of the stuff that's in the central downtown area. Okay. So I'm far enough away from most of that I don't see it.
Oh, that's good. That's nice. I would rather hear and not see. And then I also asked, do you have any questions you want to make sure I answer?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, so if any questions just come up, don't hesitate to holler at me and I'll pause and be able to answer those questions. This generally takes less than a half hour unless we get super chatty, but I'm happy to take as little or as much time as we need to. Gosh, my sweater's inside out. Look at that. Because I'm a puppet. That is awesome. I shall not bare my shoulders though. We'll stay like this. And I'm going to transition to showing you an awesome video to put us all in a fantastic mood and get acquainted with what is interpersonal communication. So let me get to it.
It's just, there's all this pressure, you know? And sometimes it feels like it's right up on me. And I can just feel it, like literally feel it in my head, and it's relentless. And I don't know if it's going to stop. I mean, that's the thing that scares me the most, is that I don't know if it's ever going to stop.
Yeah. Well, you do have a nail in your head.
It is not about the nail.
Are you sure? Because, I mean, I'll bet if we got that out of there.
Stop trying to fix it.
No, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just pointing out that maybe the nail is causing.
You always do this. You always try to fix things when what I really need is for you to just listen.
No, see, I don't think that is what you need. I think what you need is to get the nail
See,
out.
you're not even listening now.
Okay, fine. I will listen. Fine.
It's just, sometimes it's like, there's this achy, I don't know what it is. And I'm not sleeping very well at all. And all my sweaters are snagged. I mean, all of them.
That sounds really hard.
It is. Thank you. Ow!
Oh, come on. Ow. If you would just...
Don't.
Try to see things my way. So I have to keep on talking till I can go on. We can work it out. We can work it out.
Isn't that great?
That was awesome.
I love that. Have you seen that before?
No.
The DPC is the only committee solely dedicated to flipping the Senate.
It's gonna
and
go
right
away.
now, that's the only.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, it's pretty good, huh? Have you ever been in a situation like that?
No.
And that, well, hopefully not. Hopefully none of us have had like a glaring nail sticking out of our head. But that being said, that is interpersonal communication. Everybody's trying to communicate. We're trying to make people understand our position, at the same time trying to be mindful of their position. And in this course, we're going to learn about all the things related to interpersonal communication. So let me just start by turning on my PowerPoint slide. For my visual learners, I am also a visual learner, and I like to see things beside it as well as take notes. Even for the most mundane things, take notes. So this is all you need to know to pass COM 115. So what is the outlook for the course? The course is divided into 2 sections that I think are pretty intuitive. The first half, for the first 4 weeks, we're gonna look at the foundation of interpersonal communication. Before you can really start working on communicating with others, you have to understand your background and how you are as a communicator. So we start with a self-concept and a worksheet to help you understand your communication style, to understand who you think that you are, and then move into dynamics about how you communicate with others. And we also try to build some theory into there. Theory is really important. I know it sounds like super boring, but theory in any field is super important because it helps us explain and predict phenomenon so that we can just have a better way to forecast events and to understand them as they happen. So that's going to be the first 4 weeks. Interspersed in there is a look at conflict and culture. So we'll do a little bit of a dive into intercultural communication, conflict management styles, conflict types, and then we're going to take all of that into the second half of the course, and we're going to do application. We're going to look at how these concepts apply to workplace relationships, family relationships, friendships, and romantic relationships. We don't spend a ton of time in romantic relationships for the purposes of assignments because, you know, you can just do that on your own. I don't need to read about that. But it is covered in the course material. Almost all students, I haven't heard any complaints about this class. I have heard a lot of questions like, why do we even have to take this class? How is this related to my field? And as we get on, especially by around week 4, week 5, there's a ton of light bulb moments, which is what I love so much about teaching human communication because, hello, we are all human and we've all been communicating since the time that we were born, always. And we're going to keep communicating in some way until we leave this earth. So this course helps give you language to identify what you're doing and become better at it so that you have a happy and peaceful life. That's the goal, right? Happy, joyful, peaceful, laughing. Here are the assignment expectations. I like to encourage students to ask questions before you submit your work. I would much rather have you be late on an assignment and ask your questions so I can help you rather than you submit your assignment. I have to write a whole bunch of stuff to explain why it was wrong, and then you have to rewrite to resubmit for more credit. So as long as you communicate with me, if you do all of your assignments on Saturday or Sunday, and yes?
If we have to ask you questions, what's the latest we can ask you and on what days?
So yes, so I'm going to cover that specifically in just a moment, but I try to answer all questions as they come in. The best way to contact me is going to be through text messaging, and then we can work it out from there whether or not it's going to continue as a text or go to voice or Zoom. I try to stay off of work on Sundays, which is the day that your assignments are due. So you could text me as late as Sunday night and be like, I don't get it. I need help. And then I'll jump on with you on Monday. You can learn it, and then you'll have like 24 hours or so to submit. I am very flexible when it comes to getting assignments submitted. I want them submitted as close to on time as possible, but I also want you to learn the material. I don't want you cramming. I want you to know the material. I want you to feel comfortable with the material, and I want you to submit a product that you feel really happy with. So I kind of answered you in a political way. I didn't give you a clear-cut answer, because I don't feel like there is a clear-cut answer. Basically, I'm flexible. Communicate with me, and I'll work with you. Does that help?
Like, I tell my children after 10 o'clock not to call their friends and stuff because I feel like you being disrespectful to their parents' household. So that's why I was asking what was the latest you would want to be contacted.
Well, it's going to come through my cell phone. So I mean, if you text me at 10 o'clock at night, I'm probably going to be sleeping. I'm probably not going to respond till the next day. So, and the reason that I do that is different than parenting because we're all on different time schedules. We're all in different time zones. So students work at different times. Some students work all day and do their assignments at night, and vice versa. So I just leave it up to the student to contact me whenever it's convenient for you, understanding that I'm going to get back to you within 24 hours. A lot of times a lot sooner than that. Does that make sense? I do love your policy though. I am on board with that 100%. Yeah. Next, write the best that you can. Some of you have had English, some of you have not had English yet. And I don't know about you, but until I started homeschooling my children, high school English and grammar from the 8th grade was a little bit rusty. So you just do the best that you can. You know what I want to see? I want to see that you understand the concept and you can apply it. So generally that means restate the question as your topic sentence, define the concept, give an example, and write a linking statement that links the concept with the example. Okay, so, and I think that's really helpful to have you organize. Sometimes there's more than one question in a writing prompt. So that's your clue, you need a new paragraph. Restate, so if I say, what does it mean to write the best you can? Your first sentence is going to be, write the best you can by X, Y, and Z. Does that make sense? Next, define the concept. Every single assignment is going to ask for specific examples. Be specific, and then show that you can synthesize those things. Next, please take notes on your Learn-Its. There's something really cool that happens in your brain when you actually write things down. So I am posting a video, I think it's already posted on the announcements, about one way to take notes for Learn-Its. In the general education department, the Learn-Its are longer than they are in some of the other departments, so please plan for that. One way to keep from fumbling around and trying to remember in your brain is to write the answers down as you go. And then when you get to those fill in the blanks or you get to those multiple choice questions, all you have to do is look down at your notes and then fill it in. It makes it a lot faster. Now, kind of following up on what Angela had asked, the late policy, I want your assignments for the first 4 weeks turned in before the end of week 4. And I want your assignments for the second 4 weeks turned in before the end of week 7. Always remember that Kim Ware is flexible. I just need you to communicate with me what your needs are and how I can best work with you to ensure that your assignments are done and that learning is taking place. I would much rather drive in a car beside someone who is educated and who is learning than someone who isn't taking personal responsibility for themselves. And I feel like in our cultural moment, I may have just stepped into a huge plot hole. So I'm going to back up just a little bit, forget you heard any of that, and let's move on, okay? Any questions? No, okay, good. Response time. I always respond within 24 hours. If your text or your email gets lost in a shuffle, please don't hesitate to write me and say, hey, I wrote you 24 hours ago. What's going on? Please help me. Again, I try to take Sundays off. Have you heard the analogy of sharpening your axe? Yeah, okay, good. So this is going to resonate with you. And I heard this story a while ago. A guy, he cut down trees. And as he kept going on, he found that it was taking him longer and longer and longer to cut down his trees. And a fellow worker came by and said, well, have you sharpened your axe? He was like, no, what does that have to do with anything? He's like, well, I bet if you take the time to sharpen your axe, it's going to go a lot faster for you. But see, sharpening your axe takes time that he would rather spend cutting down trees. So he's like, okay, well, I'm desperate. I'm gonna try. So he takes one day and he sharpens his axe. And what do you know? That axe is sharper than ever, and he is cutting down trees so fast throughout the week. So the next weekend, he decides to do the same thing. So my point is, if you don't take time to rest, if you don't take time to sharpen your axe, you're just going to run yourself into the ground. I heard a great speaker say, I don't grind. And I love that phrasing. I don't want to grind. I want to take some time to make sure I rest. And I encourage my students to do that too. Carve out some time to make sure that you get rest so that you're your sharpest when you're on. When you're on, you're on, and when you're off, you're off. So Sunday is the day that I chose. It works best for my family, and it's when I rest. If I don't get back to you on Sunday, I'll get back to you on Monday for sure. Any questions on that?
I really like that. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, it meant the world to me when I first heard it. I'm like, I feel totally stressed all the time. I think I should rest one day. And it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about our old friend, Yellow Dig. Who loves Yellow Dig and cannot wait to hop on there every single day?
I hate Yellow Dig. Bridget.
Thanks, Bridget. I appreciate your honesty. Anyone else commiserate with Bridget?
Yeah.
I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
Okay.
And I do go on almost every day.
I
Okay.
like Yellow Dig too.
All right. So we have the whole gamut featured here. Well, my aim in the next 2 minutes is to maybe change your mind a little bit about Yellow Dig. Yellow Dig is an important tool for our institution because we are an online community, and it is really easy to feel like you're alone doing your schoolwork, and you can feel like an island and like you're in the journey by yourself. So Yellow Dig provides a way, especially in the general education classes where we don't have live meetings every week, for us to connect with each other. And it also offers an opportunity for you to bounce questions, and mostly it's for the whole community part of it. Now, if that doesn't change your mind, I think the next part will. One of the things I do for grading Yellow Dig that I love and has been hugely successful is the way that I grade it. So you still get 200 points for the entire course. You're eligible for the first 100 points, the first half of the course, and the second 100 points, the second half of the course. Is anyone familiar with the badges that you get?
I know I get them.
Yeah! Do you know how much badges are worth?
No.
So you can earn a max of 35 points every week, and a badge is worth 5 points, which is huge, okay? So if you post a post, which is generally going to be a response to one of the sparks, I'm going to give you a badge. Then if someone responds to you, and you respond back to them, and you keep the conversation going, every time you keep the conversation going with no matter who it is underneath your post, I'm going to give you another badge. So let's say you post and then 3 more people respond to your post. Every time you respond back to those 3 people, I'm going to give you a badge. So in one post, you get 5 points, and then you have 3 more people. 5, 10, 15, 20. That's a possibility of 20 extra points for one post that you can get. Your Yellow Dig points can literally soar over 300. And that's a good thing because we all have off weeks, weeks that are super busy when we just can't get to it. And building in that buffer for yourself, that max 35 points, is so, so helpful. The other thing that I like to do that just don't tell anybody else, which, I mean, that's a joke because, I mean, word travels. And my boss, she watches my videos. So hi. Let's try to get to those 100 points for the first 4 weeks. But if you don't, like say you cap off at 85, but then we get to the end of the 8 weeks and you're beyond 200, I'm going to go back to those first 4 weeks and build you up to 100 and then award the rest of the points. So at any point in time, unless you wait to get involved in Yellow Dig at the very, very end, it's a no-brainer. It's 20% of your grade. That's the easiest 200 points you're ever going to get. So maybe I have changed your mind just a little bit in the way that you feel about Yellow Dig. I hope so, Bridget, or at least maybe I've made it worth your while. So it's incentive to post, and it's incentive to respond to other people to help them get all the points that they want to, I think.
I do it. I just think that sometimes it's hard to I don't know, engage in things. So I just find it, I'm trying to think of it like I'm talking to my friends, you know, that I've known for 25 years, but sometimes I just can't do that. I have to like drag myself to do it. I'm like, but it should be the easiest thing.
It really should. So, when that happens to me, even as an instructor, if someone writes things and I'm like, well, they've pretty much said all there is to say, I don't really know how to add to this anymore. I think of a question that would be interesting to me to learn from them. So I'll ask a question or think about something else that relates in my life. And, what do you think about that? Or even just continuing to encourage people and congratulate them.
Yeah.
Again, with that badging system, it really doesn't take too long to get your points so that you've met your yellow dig needs for the week.
My daughter is also in school online, and her first set of classes, they had a regular discussion board, not yellow dig. And she is so excited that some of her classes have switched to yellow dig, because the old system was very difficult to always hit the word limit when you're responding to something, and I watched her. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, it's very painful. One of the things, Brian, they're getting ready to roll out the new version of Yellow Dig, and it's really cool. Like, you can draw on it, and you can do videos directly on it, like you talking to a person, and it has a lot more features. So I think it's just going to get better from here on out. Any other questions about Yellow Dig?
What were y'all talking about with the feature?
So they're gonna, on the new Yellow Dig, you can draw, like you have a whole color palette, and if you are talented with your mouse, you can draw. Like, I could ask you, what's your favorite type of, pizza? You could draw me a piece of pizza with your toppings on it.
Yeah, they was telling us about that in last class.
Yeah, it's really, it's good. It's really cool.
To do it though.
What?
When are they supposed to do it?
I think very soon. I cannot give you exact details on that, but from what I'm told, very soon. Because all the instructors have been trained on it now. So we've all done it. So it shouldn't be too much longer before it rolls out. Yeah. Okay, so that is pretty much COM 115 in a nutshell. I'll tell you this for you and anyone else who watches the recording. The way that Brian does things, and especially in this course, what a great university to be a part of, where we aren't trying to match some sort of bell curve. Like, if you were at a Research One institution, you wouldn't be able to resubmit things. And when they look at an instructor's grades, they would want to see like this curve of people who didn't do well, people who are middle of the road, and people who were awesome. But at Brian, because you can resubmit for mastery, as long as you stay on your time management, you can get an A in this course. There's no reason not to get an A in this course. And that's what I want for all of you, or whatever your personal goals are. Maybe the grade doesn't matter so much. Maybe you just want to attain the knowledge, which is great. But get an A, right? Just do it. Yeah. Get the A, manage your time, resubmit stuff for extra credit, and do it. Okay? Go team! So that's it. Do you have any other questions before I let you go?
Curiosity, how many students are in your class?
In this class, it's kind of big. I think there's 31.
Okay.
Yeah. Why do you ask?
So most must have attended the morning.
Just curious as to when I'm watching the Yellow Dig to see. That's all.
Yeah, it should be, my experience has been the bigger the class, the better the Yellow Dig.
Well, right now, I seem to see a lot of the same people who are doing responses and stuff like that. That's also why I was checking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and some people wait till the weekend to do all their schoolwork. So it's hard to know, but the bigger the class, the better the Yellow Dig, because there's a lot more people for you to interact with.
Awesome.
Okay. Good question. Anything else?
No.
Okay. New students and peers. It's going to be great. The 8 weeks will go very fast. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm happy to work with you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
said 6. It's 5